Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's edition of Boredom Busters with Lincoln Children's Museum. Now, this whole week we have been talking about space because April is Global Astronomy Month. Now, today we are going to talk about... Now, today is Wednesday, and let's see, it's the 15th today. Time is just going by so strangely now, isn't it? Now, today we're going to talk about the moon. There are a lot of things. What is the moon? How far away is it? So it looks like it's just right there, but how far away is it actually? Now, did you know that the moon is almost 10 times farther away than all the way around the Earth? So the moon, say 238,900 miles to get to the moon. That's going around the Earth 10 whole times before you could get to the moon. Now, when you look at the moon, what are some things that you think about? Have you ever noticed that it changes shape? Why does it do that? Does the moon make its own light? So today we're going to look at some of those things. I have a couple of activities for you, and we also have some little printables here. So this one today, it is the moon is hiding. So this is a little search and find each one of these pictures here. Kazoo needs help finding the moon. Now, our book recommendation today is Moon Rope by Lois Ehlert, because the moon, you're not the only one who looks at the moon and wonders and thinks about it. People have been telling stories about the moon ever since the beginning of storytelling. So this is a story, it's a cultural story about the moon. Now, for a video recommendation today, why does the moon change? And this one is from SciShow Kids, excuse me. And they do a really great job of explaining the science behind why the moon changes. Now, today I have a couple of activities, and the first one, it might be a little bit tricky to see over the video, so I'm just going to do a little bit of a demonstration there. It works best in a dark room. So we have instructions here, and printable, or you can just look at it on your computer screen. Now, this is a full lesson about the phases of the moon. There are written instructions and picture instructions here. So, first things first, the moon does not glow on its own. It does not make its own light. It gets its light from the sun. It reflects that light back down to us here on Earth. Kind of like when we made that solar oven on Monday and the sunlight came down to hit the foil and reflected down into the box. The foil wasn't making its own light, it's just reflecting the light from the sun. So over here, I have this set up here. You might recognize this as being my sundial from yesterday, but I am using it as a makeshift lamp stand because I just had a light bulb on a cord. So what you need is a bare light bulb and a ball on a stick. Now, I had a foam ball, put it on this little skinny skewer stick. If you don't have a foam ball, that is just fine. Look around, I'm sure you can find something in your house that would work. I was even looking at my desk this morning. I brought an orange to go with my lunch, and I thought, I bet I could put a stick into that orange and use that as the moon. So here we have the light bulb, which will be our sun, and the moon over here. Now, if the sun is the light bulb and the moon is this little ball, you are the Earth. Now, I'm going to turn this light on. So first thing, I just want to do some investigations. As you move the foam ball around the light, different parts of it are lit up and different parts are in shadow. So as you go around, this is just like the sun and the moon, and you're orbiting around the sun. So I'm not sure if that's showing up on the video at all, the way that those shadows are changing on the moon. So test it out at home, use what you have, maybe take a lampshade off, or if you have one of those flashlights that you can unscrew the top and the light bulb is just exposed, that would work too. But let us know in the comments how it went for you, what you used as your moon, and just follow the instructions written down and follow the pictures. Just do some observations on it. Now, for our craft today, it is also about the phases of the moon, and what you need for this is a paper plate or a round piece of paper, even a rectangular paper works just fine. Now we have a printable here, which is pretty fun, that you can do this one, or if you don't have the printer, that's totally fine. I made one here where I just cut the circles out of construction paper. Now I think I am going to use this earth though. I'm going to cut this one out. And now to make my circles for the moon, all I did was trace around this little sauce cup. I did it on the bottom. It's about 1 inch. That's what's recommended on this little lesson here. You can also freehand it, draw your own circles. They just need to be the same size as each other. All right. So there's the earth. I'm just going to glue that right in the middle of my paper, just like that. Now I need to glue down my black circles. So I'm going to put them the earth. And now to help me make them be evenly spaced, instead of putting the next one right next door, I don't know how far apart they need to be, I'm going to put this one underneath. And then I'll put this one, split the difference, kind of like 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and 3 o'clock. Now I need to put 4 more on here. So I was going to put one in between each of these. And look at that. Now I'm glad I didn't put that first one down so close. They wouldn't have been evenly spaced. All right, just a couple more to go here. All right. So now, did you know that when you can't see the moon at all, because there's a time of the month when you can't see the moon at all, it's called a new moon. I bet you knew that when you can see the whole thing, it's called the full moon. But when you can't see it at all, it's called the new moon. So here we go. Here's Earth, and we're going to start moon. Oh, we're going to put the full moon, sorry. Put the full moon over here at 9 o'clock. So I'm just going to completely cover up that black circle there and write full moon. Now, the next thing that happens, I draw this little arrow here, moon is going to start getting a little bit smaller. So take another white circle, and I'm going to cut off just a little bit like this. So now the moon is waning. It starts out full, and then it starts waning. That means it's getting smaller. And here, this is called a waning gibbous. So I'm going to write that there. There it is. So now if you did that little activity with the foam ball, you'll see this little black section, that's the part that was in the shadow. Now, this part here, it's not that the moon is reflecting less light, it's that part of it that's reflecting light is not facing the Earth. So now we're just going to keep going here. Next one, we have our quarter. That's half a little thing here. I know that always confused me for the longest time. Why is it called a quarter moon when I can see half of it? Well, because you have to remember that the moon is like a ball and you're really only seeing a quarter of it. There's the half you can't see, but then there's the other side too. All right, now we need a waning crescent. So I'm just going to use that little sliver that I have left over from cutting off from the gibbous, from the waning gibbous. Now I've got a waning crescent. And what comes next? What do you think comes next? Oh, we've got a full moon, most of a moon, the waning gibbous. It wanes farther, it's smaller, and now it's the new moon. I'm just going to do this one last little time here. So next up is our crescent. So there's my crescent. I'm going to make sure to put it on the other side, how this one, the white part, is going this way. But now remember, the back of the moon is all lit up. So then the light part is coming back around. Put this one on. And our very last piece here. So now, when the moon's getting bigger, we say that it's waxing. So here it is. There's our waxing crescent, because it's getting bigger. There's our quarter again. There's our waxing gibbous. And we've come all the way back around to a full moon. There we go. All right, now show us what you did with this, what you figured out. And I hope that you can do both of these and really take a look up in the sky. See if you can see the moon tonight. How big is it? You know, I looked it up. Our last full moon was on April 7th. So it was April 7th, it was our full moon. So we follow the arrows. We're gonna be somewhere in this zone here. So look up there, see if you can follow along as the month goes by. Because every month we get back around to a full moon. It just keeps on going. All right, let's see here. I think I have a joke for you today. And let's see. Why couldn't the astronaut book a room on the moon?
I don't know, Miss Greta. Why?
The moon was full. All right, well, these activities, and oh, one more thing. As a reminder, we are still selling our spring houses. These are available for purchase online. For $15, you get the house box, you get frosting, you get some cereals and some candies and sprinkles. And then here, Lindsay went out and she got some moss and a pine cone and some rocks. She found some little fun sparkly decorations, and she found a little violin playing troll to add in. So that's his little house. So if you do buy one of those online, then we will get in touch with you about how to pick it up. And I hope that you all are having a wonderful spring.